De Titanic is in zee gezonken. De liefde is in zee gezonken. God zegt nee, de mensen zeggen nee en ik zeg ook nee. De geest gaat uit haar diepe slaap ontwaken en de trein van mijn dromen gaat ons samenbrengen. De trein gaat ons naar een plaats brengen waar we echte barmhartigheid en een beter leven zullen leren kennen. In mijn rugzak steken 2 dingen: het bewijs van waar ik gans mijn leven voor gewerkt heb en het plan van de weg die ik gans mijn leven bewandeld heb, de weg van een boer. Helaas zijn er zoveel fancy bitches dat ik veroordeeld ben om de rest van mijn leven een boer te zijn. Vrouwen houden niet van boeren en een boer zijn betekent gans mijn leven alleen zijn. Die fancy bitches zijn toch nutteloos, daar kan je toch niks mee aanvangen. Maar ik ga proberen de toon licht te houden.
A broken heart is a bitch. A man's heart comes alive very quickly, especially when it's broken, and when it comes alive, it starts wanting a woman immediately. It's a force of nature. Forces of nature are almost as good as forces of God, but they can only be good forces if they lead to good results. Not being able to live without the taste of a man's broken heart doesn't count as a good result. A bitch is delicious, and a man's broken heart is also delicious, so a man's broken heart is in fact a bitch. A man's broken heart is a bitch, and a man's broken heart is also a little monkey skull. The question is God a male or a female? And if God is a female, it's very hard to let her go. If the female God has the power to pull your heart out and replace it by a little monkey skull, it is even harder to let her go. It's the proof of her power. In my land, a woman that has the audacity to replace a heart by a monkey skull would be evicted. She's a symbol of emptiness and frustration, and I would remove that symbol from my land and replace it by a symbol of love. It's a safe land. You're welcome. Whose fault is it? I rang on every doorbell, but none of the girls would open the door for me, as if opening a door for me would be the end of the world. Whose fault is it? When the people like you, it makes everything a lot easier. I would have found a girlfriend at an earlier stage in my life if I wouldn't have met with great opposition. You consider the fact that the world is opposed to me as a good reason to join everybody? Of course you do. How could it be any different? You don't want to take any chances because I might pull you down. Case closed. My solitude is a collective decision. It's a collective judgment. Women love all kinds of power. They also like sexual power. Well, me too. God said, "Let there be spiders." And there were spiders. They may be homeless and undressed, but they never go away, regardless of your wish to have them removed. Even their webs are as good as destroyed, but the main strings of their webs are unharmed, and the spiders know exactly how important that is, and they are not going to let you touch them, because they know what they are doing. You think that's a sin? I understand. The love of a man is a sin, but the love of a woman is a miracle of charity. You're free to leave my land anytime. The kingdom of God will welcome you with open arms. God is all about miracles of charity. I will keep leaning on Marilyn Manson. Our place is in the dirt, my friend. Our place is in the dirt. And I will keep leaning on Kurt Cobain. I know I'm always wrong, but I know he meant the same thing when he said, "You know you're right." The meaning of life. God is so smart. God said, if you need anything, anything at all, just knock on the door and someone will open the door. It's in the Bible. You know why he wrote it in the Bible? Besides the fact that if you need charity, you don't have any other choice but to knock on someone's door? Because he's smart. He created a world with no doors at all, and then he wrote in the Bible the thing I just said. That is smart. Very smart. Is this a joke? I don't know any hospitable door. I only know hostile doors. I can't think of a word that's worse than door right now, except the symbol of my downfall, but that's more than one word. The word door never meant anything good to me. I know why I can go ahead and knock on every door until all my teeth fall out. Because Radu Radu bars the way. Radu Radu will bar the way as long as I don't drop the charges against her, and I have no intention to do so, unless I have a good reason to. You can't understand all the things I wrote about Radu Radu? You can't understand the depths of the maliciousness of Radu Radu? Try it. Then you'll also understand I have every reason not to submit and not to drop the charges. I think people are still confusing Radu Radu with the Virgin Mary. She just gets everybody tangled up.
Sometimes I hear people say, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Right. But think it through. Think a little longer. Sometimes you don't get to choose your friends, because your family already did, and sometimes your family even decides whether you get friends or not. It would be preferable if no one decided such an awful thing. If it was impossible, that would be very convenient. But it's true, sad, and awful. It's a family clan mafia thing. Like West Side Story. To me, this movie is just plain boring until the last scene begins. It's dark outside, Maria's lover is stabbed and bleeding and lying on the street, and there's a clan standing around him in a circle, silently. I believe his name is Tony. And Maria is on her knees beside him, and then she says,
"You all killed him, and my brother, and Riff. Not with bullets and guns, with hate. Well, I can kill too, because now I have hate."
That's perfect. It makes my evening perfect. Because I'm also alone, like Maria, and I also have hate. My question towards women is, do you intend to soften my heart, or do you just intend to ship me off, like everybody else? You know what I'm going to do? Since the end is nearby, I will put on some music. I will play 9 Million Bicycles. Maybe Katie Melua will soften my heart. There are 9 million bicycles in Beijing. That's a fact. It's a thing we can't deny, like the fact that I will love you till I die. Yeah, that ain't working. No woman can soften my heart all the way from Beijing. Come closer. Come closer. I was born dead. I was born, and I was dead and forgotten. I will be buried, and I will still be dead and forgotten. I was dead and forgotten from the beginning and forever. I didn't share my joy, but I shared my shit. I like my shit. At least I shared something. Maybe you are under the delusion that dead people spread the joy all around or something. They don't spread the joy all around. They need more joy than anyone else. Happiness is just one of the million things that they need and don't get. But you're happy. Your happiness is very useful, and it doesn't matter that you're too proud to share it with a dead man. That's the meaning of life. But it's not useful to me. My shit and my hate are all I've got, and that's useless. I know what it means. The hate refers to sinners, and the shit refers to failures. Failures ought to live in outer darkness, and sinners don't deserve to be loved.